I think you're already realizing the blessing has a little curse.
Yeah. Well, for me there is no curse. Really, I'm in LA, so it's, I'm happy.
All right. So here's the question that I think is just as blunt as I can be. Guys don't want to talk about their friendships with other guys, and every time you do an interview, someone's trying to get you to talk about what they would like to now label a bromance, or whatever the current terminology is.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Best buddies. So I think you're two normal guys who got two big breaks, but if you weren't talented, it wouldn't have gone beyond the song in the movie, and Robert would have been replaced by another actor like they've just done for the third Twilight movie. So talk about the big break you had, and where you think you'd be right now if your song wasn't in Twilight, because I think that it's made a difference.
Oh yeah, I know it's made a huge difference. For some reason I've been born, not that I'm born with it, but I've got this kind of ignorant kind of work ethic that no matter, I spend a lot of time playing to rooms, the same as every musician does. Like millions and millions of musicians all around the world are playing like say tonight to two people and a sound guy, and those two people are their best friends. And during those kind of periods, you have to all kind of work through and play through them, and that's what I did. And I'd be doing exactly the same thing today if I didn't have that break. Without doubt, this is all I know and all I want to do.
Are you getting used to the recognition of all of this yet?
Well, the thing is, I don't. The weird thing is, I don't really feel I deserve any recognition yet. I still feel I'm working my way up the ladder. I still feel, at the moment I do an album, or maybe 15 albums, then maybe I'm due a little bit of recognition. But at the moment, I've recorded some songs in my bedroom, which which is cool, and I'm touring hard and I'm playing well and I'm picking up people who like my music, and that's great. But I still feel like I'm on the journey up, if you know what I mean. There's still a long way to go.
It sounds like you're about the music and not the money.
Well, to be honest, I've been doing it anyway. It's great to be able to. It looks like I'm going to record in October in this really great studio in London, and having those kind of opportunities to put my music in a great studio and work with amazing musicians, that's incredible, and that's what money does bring. But I haven't really bought anything since. I don't really spend that much money. So.
You're still cutting your own hair.
Still cut my own hair, yeah.
All right. So if somebody asks you, how do you describe your music? Do you have an answer that makes people comfortable with understanding what it is?
I can't have the idea of people interpreting something themselves. People say to me, what's that song about? It's hard for me to really explain because I don't really want to, because then the mystery's gone. But with my own stuff, I think it's folky, and I like a lot of folk music and country music and a lot of blues stuff. And I think it's quite raw and honest at the moment, but it's folk based, I think I'd probably say. Yeah.
We have seen our world change here in the broadcast journalism profession in the last 6 months to a year radically. And where once we put something online and would get like 1,000 hits and say that's amazing, now 1,000 hits would be disappointing for something like this, and we're gunning for the big things, and we're seeing the power of the internet. Are you shocked when you go online and Google Bobby Long and see what's out there already?
Yeah, I try not to do that. I think I've Googled myself once, and it's kind of a weird experience. But yeah, it's crazy. The thing I'm mostly aware of is, sometimes I put up YouTube videos of my new songs. I just, for my own sake, I feel like I need to get them out there. And I just put a YouTube video of just a still recording of like a bin or something with me playing in the background, and it's shocking when it gets like 5,000 plays, over the space of a few days, without me announcing it at all, and just me literally putting it up there, so people have to search for it. I find that a bit crazy, but wicked, they're good. It's really good.
That means they hunger for some new sound.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's really good. And it's really good as a writer because it kind of inspires you to write more. And that's good. Yeah.
You write what you know, they say often when you start out, but as you can move on, you start kind of branching out. And I'll talk to musicians as they've been in the business for 20 years, and they're looking for anything that kind of separates them. How do you think you separate yourself from all the other people out there right now? Since you do have your idols.
It's tricky. I think, nobody can deny the fact that they're inspired by somebody else or take on kind of sometimes physical kind of elements of another artist, because I love people like Bob Dylan and Elliott Smith, and I learned how to sing to a lot of old blues stuff and a lot of old jazz stuff, so I can't deny that there's not elements of that in what I do. But the only thing that separates me from anybody else is me, and I just try and be honest when I write and when I perform, and try and do my own thing, and that takes a long time to realise what basically what you're more comfortable with doing.
Did you ever try out for Pop Idol?
No, I'd never do something like that. I'd rather eat something horrible than do that.
All right, so my intern, Aline, back there, wrote a question. You say when you perform, half of it is the actual performance aspect of it, and the other half is observing the audience's reactions. So what do you generally observe from your audiences?
It's weird. It's a good question. It's weird. Just because if I'm being honest, sometimes you just want to get on stage and just pretend that nobody else is there and just play for yourself, but you can't. So sometimes you just have to judge what's going on in the crowd, and because it's just me playing on an acoustic guitar and a harmonica, you kind of have to give them something a little bit more. It's not U2 with lights and everything and fireworks going off. So you kind of have to just judge the room and kind of sense what kind of song they want to hear next, or whether you should engage them or not. It's tricky.
Sounds like you can feel them.
Yeah. Sometimes you can, especially when they run on stage. But you can't. But it's tricky. Yeah.
So you're 22 now.
Yeah.
And you still don't drive?
No. Well, you know what? If I lived in LA, I'd have to, because there's no buses. But
you might end up here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, maybe. But hopefully, actually, it's a nice place. But in London, there's no need to drive. I never had any money. I'd rather buy other things when I was younger.
Like food?
Like food, yeah, food and haircuts.
I think you have a great sense of what you're entering, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
And I think the guidance that you're getting is great, so people understand, and you're appreciating what's happening to you.
Oh, thanks.
Is there any fear that you'll turn to the dark side and do things that you never thought you would, or do you hear your mother's voice, somehow in your head saying, "Bobby, if you ever..."
Yeah, there's no chance that happening. I went to the Twilight premiere. I literally just walked down the red carpet, and then as soon as I got outside, I had signal again, and my dad phoned me up and went, "Don't forget where you came from." So there's no way he's from Wigan, do you know what I mean? So there's no way in hell that could happen. And then he told me to phone my nan, and then she said exactly the same thing, but in a slightly higher pitched voice. So there's no way in hell that could have happened to me. Yeah.